Hello, Knights fans. Back with this week's edition of the FDU Men's Basketball Report with Coach Greg Herenda. Coach, much needed road victory over Bryant your last time out. We've talked about in the absence of Darian Anderson, guys stepping up. You definitely saw that from a lot of guys. You put up 89 points, specifically Elijah Williams' performance. Talk about his performance and getting that much needed road win.
Well, we talk about it all the time that you just don't know when your opportunity is going to arise. And we had to sit Noah for a game, and it was Elijah's turn. And Elijah, the very first play of the game, caught it, ripped it, went baseline, and took Bryant out of their zone and into man, and had probably one of the career games that I've been, as long as I've been the head basketball coach. And then Elijah started it, and then Darnell, and then Caleb, and then Mike. But Jaleel Jenkins, he's the constant. He's the quiet, constant, man, and he's a beautiful person, as I keep on saying, and it just comes off during the game. So that was we had 5 guys at one point in that game, Brian, that was reported on NEC Front Row that at the 15-minute mark had 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 points. So you can't get much more balance. We've won 2 out of 3 games. We're trying to figure it out without Darian Anderson, and I think, we are. The young kids, I tell them they're not freshmen anymore. They played over 20 games of college basketball and a lot of practices and a lot of heartaches. So our team is growing up, and the Bryant win was a great one, and now we have a big trip, and we're good on the road. We're 2-3 on the road, and arguably the Sacred Heart game could have been ours. The Central game could have been ours. We could easily be looking at a 4-2 road team, but we still have some work to do, and St. Francis and Robert Morris are really, really good and really tough out there.
Yeah, we'll get to the road swing, but you mentioned the balanced scoring. In 9 of your 10 NEC games this season, you've had 4 or more in double figures, so it doesn't get much more balanced than that.
Yes.
You mentioned Jenkins as well. Without Darian being out there, he's obviously going to be a facilitator, running your offense as the point guard, but how important is it for him to get his shots? I mean, you saw him score 20 points last game. You really need him to be more aggressive, right?
Well, in high school, he scored when he had to, and he's doing the same thing in college. So if somebody's open, he's giving it, and if he's open, he's scoring it. So it's a perfect marriage for a point guard. And he guards, he steals the ball, he rebounds the basketball. So we have a lot of good players. We need our bench to develop. Nadi and Dandre came up huge, when I think it was our Mount St. Mary's game. We have to have Pat and Nadi and Dandre and now whoever we bring off the bench, whether it's Noah or Elijah, really step up. That'll really make us a balanced team. We have a balanced 6. I'd like to get to 8 or 9 because we play hard, we press, and I like to play more people. But it's college basketball, and you have to produce. And the more production we get from our 7, 8, 9 guys, I think that'll take us, into the NEC tournament and potentially forward.
Definitely more opportunities there, minutes to be had. Right. So you look ahead to this Western PA road trip. Right. It's always a tough part of the schedule. I mean, St. Francis and Robert Morris, 2 quality basketball teams. Right. But what makes this trip so difficult in general?
I think you make it difficult if you make it difficult yourself. I don't think it's a difficult trip. It's a great trip to get away, take a deep breath, and we play St. Francis really, really well. We seem to match up with them. They beat us last year in their building. I think we won the year before in their building. So our teams, our championship year, we were 8-2 on the road. So I don't think it's a difficult trip unless you think it's going to be a difficult trip. And we don't really we look at it, okay, it's a good time to get out of Jersey, get out of class. They bring their books with them, and we can kind of take a deep breath and kind of, not so much bond as a team, but kind of just stay together. And these kids deserve to see other campuses. And this week we're playing at Robert Morris in the Payne Center, so we're not playing their buildings being repaired. So it's another venue. So we're looking forward to the trip as opposed to being worried about taking the Western PA trip.
Definitely. And then looking ahead to this week's radio show, you'll have one of our great ambassadors here at Fairleigh Dickinson, Seth Greenberg, great ambassador for college basketball as well. He'll be back here. He's going to also be here on February 11th for the Rich Conrad game against Wagner. What should they look for? What should our fans look for on that show this week with Seth?
Well, he's trying to be here for the game because ESPN constantly changes their setups and their schedules, and I know he's got some conflicts that he's trying to work out, but I just think Seth is I hate to say it, but like a showpiece for our university. Seth, retired from coaching and is 100 games over. He was the 2-time ACC Basketball Coach of the Year. They beat Duke twice at Duke, beat Carolina at Carolina. He's the link to Alabama. He's the link to our alums that are just so precious and important to our basketball program. So, but it's all about Richie Conrad. On February 11th at 2 o'clock, we need to fill this place against Wagner. Not so much for Wagner and the game, but for Rich Conrad and the retirement of his number 40.
Definitely. Well, good luck this weekend. I know we got to catch the bus now, so
Yep.
the Knights are going to take on the St. Francis U Red Flash. That game's on CBS Sports Network, so definitely tune in. Set your DVRs if you're getting home late from work. That's, again, a 6 o'clock start on Thursday against St. Francis. And then on Saturday, the Knights will head over to Pittsburgh and take on Robert Morris. So that'll be a 2 o'clock start there. So definitely a lot of action, and follow the Knights on the road this week as they head out to Western PA. For all information about the FDU men's basketball team, head to FDUKnights.com.